Welcome back, everyone, to another YouTube live stream. My name is Aaron, your host, joined here by Nate. And as you guys see it, today's title, we are building $1,000 card portfolios here live on the show. We are not actually going to transact on these items. We wish we could, but we cannot right now. So maybe you all should, but we're going to check it out. Just do a little mock portfolio build, and hopefully you all enjoy, and we'll jump into it. But before we get into the mock portfolio build of both Nate and myself. And hey, Nate, you like on this thumbnail that the Topps Chrome Sapphire soccer boxes by you and the Soto rookies by me?
You would never catch me buying soccer, that's for sure.
Well, of course you wouldn't buy it when Mbappe is $2. Why would you buy it now?
Low blow.
Okay, well, let's start looking at what we're talking about today. So first off, before getting into the portfolio build, my idea kind of sparked because of this right here. Of course, this is the closing of Golden Auction's massive March auction last night. They had two rounds, one end Saturday night, one end Sunday night. The one that ended Saturday night had 5 cards that eclipsed $1 million. It was the LeBron Exquisite RPA BGS 8.5, Kobe Bryant Black Label Refractor BGS 10, Roberto Clemente Rookie PSA 9, which is an insane grade, Mickey Mantle PSA 8, Rookie 52 Topps, and then also LeBron Logo Man from 2004 Ultimate Collection, I believe it was. But I wanted to highlight on Instagram today some of the cards that were not the $1 million ones. So we're looking at here Anthony Davis Gold Prism for 108. Like this is by far the craziest auction I've seen, by the way. Like there are cards here that you would think maybe like 3-4 months ago you were buying for like 35K. That's how crazy it was. And maybe I'm like crazy for saying that.
Not me. I wasn't buying for 35K.
Not you, but like
in the hole.
I would be hard pressed to believe that some of these cards would have been above 100K like 4 months ago. Josh Allen, Logo Man or Logo Shield 1/1 Auto BGS 10. Do you think that was above 40 or 50K 4 months ago? Maybe it was. Maybe I'm just dumb and I'm not in tune to the football market, but still crazy values that were ending across the board here. To me, the Kobe BGS 10 Gold Refractor sticks out like a sore thumb as the most undervalued card on that screen. Josh Allen sticks out as the most overvalued. Tiger Woods seems like the one that people wanted once that accident happened, which not to say people didn't want it before, but I think that card sold for like a lot less prior to this. A numbered out of 100, though. That is kind of the holy grail of golf cards, the most expensive one ever to sell. And then the John Morant Immaculate RPA for 250K. That's the highest John Morant card ever to sell. That seems like a steep price to pay for a guy that's in his second year. That not to say he won't be amazing, but still. And then also BGS 9.5 LeBron Gold Finest Refractors, one of the rarest gold refractors of LeBron ever. Actually, one of the rarest rookie cards of him ever. So cool to see that too. And then this was the slide that was kind of like, what's going on here? So first off, Herbert at 161 versus Trout at 124. I mean, it's a 1/1 contenders auto. I get it. But Herbert hasn't even made the playoffs.
Dude, I cannot believe that Trout went for the same price as that Holland and less than that Herbert, considering it's out of 67 in 2011.
Yeah, 60, and 62. Not to mention how tough it is to even get a 9.5 with the black.
Yeah, you see like PSA 7s and stuff pop up.
Yeah,
like card, not a BGS 9.5.
No, 9.5 is a tough grade. The LeBron and Wade dual Logo Man, if that was not out of 5 and if that was a 1/1, that would have eclipsed probably $400,000 or $500,000, but it's out of 5, so makes sense that was lower. The Luka at $100,000. I remember like 2 summers ago, we were sending out emails, and I'd send out that card for like $1,000 via an email. That Blue Ice PSA 10 of 99. And then also the Kobe. While I do love all Kobe cards as investments, and I know Gold Prism numbered out of 10 is so big, I was super shocked that sold for almost 150K. A Gold Prism out of 10 from 2015. To me, if I was in the seat of having enough money to spend $150,000, I would have found the extra $60,000 to buy the gold rookie numbered BGS 10. Now, there's more than 10 of those produced, but it's a rookie card, and from Topps Finest, one of the best sets, in my opinion, of all time. And crazy to see that for sure. But the reason why we're doing this exercise of building $1,000 card portfolio is because it's so, like, for me, it's really fun to watch these auctions end. I'm sure it's fun for a lot of you to watch them end and to see what the prices are. Like Holland last night, I was going nuts. I couldn't believe that went over $100,000. I was telling Nate, and it's all fun and stuff, but how many of us can actually sit here and be like, oh, I can buy that, or I can like actually do something like that? Like, probably not many of us. Maybe like one person watching this live stream, if the odds play out as they do in the card market, 1% of people can actually do that. So we're going to do an exercise of spending $1,000, and Nate and I are going to see whose portfolio might be better. You all can vote as we do this, but I want to do it because we want to make sure that we're, as we highlight these posts on Instagram to obviously get people to talk about them and get people to share them and share the hobby. And it does bring a lot of eyeballs to the industry and to slab stocks too. We want to make sure that we stay to the roots of, making sports cards accessible for everyone, because these are not accessible for everyone, these cards. But the cards we're about to show, a lot of those are accessible for people in cards right now, can buy, can try to sell, flip, do whatever you need to do, collect them. So yeah, I'm excited. Nate, you excited?
Yeah. I mean, I went very high upside with my picks. So there's some real chance you lose all $1,000. Let's just put it that way.
If this were me just like sitting here like actually today and being like, oh, I have $1,000 to spend for my collection, I'd for sure just go buy the best Kobe card I could for $1,000. But that wouldn't be very fun to sit here and say, oh, I buy a Kobe card for $1,000. So
nope.
I had to switch it up a bit and find some maybe budget buys in that range. So I'll go first. My first card I'm going to buy, and this is the cheapest card I have on this list. And what's up, everyone? Welcome for joining. I see Elite in here, T206, Henry H, Oscar, Allen, a lot of people in here, Global. Thank you all for joining today. But I'm taking a Messy Sapphire variation, and it's $75 right now. And I put the little parentheses down there for the grade, and then I added it in. I don't know if you did that, Nate, just that same way. But
I did not.
All right. So what the point is here is that this card is $75 non-graded. I'd pay it $25 to grade it. And if I get a PSA 9, I'm probably breaking even on the grade. And I'm definitely waiting all that time to break even. But if I get a 10, it's probably going to be worth like 2 or 3 times as much. So I really like Sapphire. I think everyone knows that, watches our YouTube page. We break it every week. And the variations, I think, are definitely going to do well, just as like, Prism variations with Zion and Ja. I really like those too. And can't get much better than Messi. So I figured for a lower budget, like try to grade and see if I can make some profit there, I'd take that card.
Okay.
All right, that's my first card. I'm $100 down right now. So this is Nate's first choice. Oh, he's just going big boy right out of the gate.
Right out of the gate. I went big and I tiered it down from there so that I knew how much I had to spend. And right away, I went with Marco Luciano, PSA 9, because PSA 10s are super expensive. I don't know if you remember when these came out, but they were not. I repeat, not that expensive. You could have probably got a PSA 9 for 70, 80, 90, $100, right? When they came out. Now it's $510, and you can't find many cheap ones. PSA 10s or BGS 95s are under $1,000. That would have taken up my entire budget. Yeah. So instead, we go PSA 9. Marco Luciano is one of those dudes that unbelievable power for somebody so young out of shortstop. Might not be able to stay there, but I think the Giants might try to make him stick. If he's a shortstop in the major leagues with like 70 grade power, he hit a ball. He's a 17-year-old kid who hit a ball like 118 miles per hour off the bat, exit velocity, a couple months ago. I saw a tweet on that. Like, that doesn't grow on trees, right? Like, Jason Dominguez does that. He's 17, but Marco Luciano is already also doing that when he was that young. I think he's probably 19 now or so. But kid's a stud, insane power, and one of those guys that I wouldn't be surprised if you look up and he's leading the Giants to playoff contention and he's a $4,000 Bowman Chrome. I mean, that's hard to get to, right? That's Juan Soto territory. But if I was going to give anybody a chance to become Juan Soto territory outside of Wander, obviously, whose autos are already insanely expensive, it's got to be Luciano and it's got to be Julio Rodriguez.
How much is a Rodriguez PSA 9?
I did not look it up.
So did you just say I want Luciano versus Rodriguez? Wow.
Going with the shortstop here.
Wow.
I like Rodriguez's bat better, but positional scarcity here won out.
Yeah. I just want to jump to a couple of these questions in the chat really quick. This is cool. CB8 as a Panini Super Bowl kid reporter got a lot of cards for him, but I put them in a case. But where do I put them? So generally, what you should be doing when you get cards is you take a penny sleeve. I mean, you can get these on like Amazon, eBay, or even at Walmart sometimes. Put the card into here, and then you put the card into either a card saver or a top loader, and then that'll protect it real nice for you.
If you're looking for what a top loader looks like.
There you go. I'm just want to make sure you don't, damage all your cards, because that is something as a kid, I took pride in not damaging them and then keeping them in good condition. So
Also,
I hope that you do the same.
3/4 regular top loaders. Don't get 55 point. Don't get 75 point.
And then Alan had a question. Your Sapphires are a tough grade, though. No, and he's talking about my Sapphire variation of Messi, which, yes, they are a tough grade because print lines were pretty prominent on the cards. But I feel like that if I get lucky, which I'm not saying that you should buy expecting a PSA 10, anyone out there, I definitely am buying that Messi expecting a 9. And if I get an 8, then I'm probably a little bummed. But if it gets a 10, then the value is going to even be better on the return. If it gets a 9, I think it'll hold even better value because of the fact it's a tough grade. So I actually kind of like that aspect of it. Maybe it favors a bit, at least to take down the risk. What's up, Kevin? How's it going? We are 2 cards in each right now. So to recap, my first card, Messi Sapphire for $75, pay $25 to grade it, $100 in. And Nate's is $510 Marco Luciano. He's spending over half his budget in the first card. So his is going to get worse from here. All right, my next card, I got to go to one of my old school refractors, and I was trying to pick here between a couple different players, but I think I settled on Dwayne Wade because of how affordable his second-year cards are. You guys probably saw me make a trade for that D Wade X Fractor Bowman Chrome of 150 at Alexa's talking to me. That was a little scary. At the Miami show, and I'm just a fan of it because of the value which is there. I mean, rookies would be better, but if we're staying inside of a $1,000 budget, I'm going to go with a PSA 8 refractor for $155. The raw are around $250, I think, $255. But I really valued saving that $100. It's already graded by PSA. I don't have to wait the months to get it back. And an 8, it's a fine grade in my opinion for a 2004 card. So I take the D Wade refractor second year for $155 and call it a day on my second card. All right, here we go. Nate's second card is what do you got?
Turner, Top Chrome Sapphire, PSA 10. I was running some numbers on my phone there real quick, so excuse me for being a little bit late to the uptake there. But Trey Turner, Top Chrome PSA 10 Sapphire. Now, 2016 was the first year of Sapphire. You got him. You got Corey Seager. Those types.
Wait, really quick. Yeah. So I just made a post today on Topps Chrome Corey Seager PSA 10 base. I wanted to make a post on the Sapphire, but there's like barely any data points out there. The only 2 that sold in the last 3 months was a BGS 10. I don't remember how much. And then a BGS 10 Black Label in January. Guess how much that BGS 10 Black Label Sapphire Corey Seager sold for?
Is it going to be higher or lower than I'm expecting?
Just go. Just shoot.
2,200.
Dude, $700.
What?
Yeah, that seems like a steal, does it not?
That's a huge steal. I don't know if people really love Top Chrome Sapphire from back then, but I think it's like a more popular thing now.
Yeah,
especially because it came out in like full sets, didn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't like a per pack thing. It was like a full set with some possible superfractors in the back, and way different than it is now.
I think every box came with like 5 superfractors or something. Yeah. But anyways, and I know a guy that has like 12 Corey Seager Top Chrome Sapphires that I don't think he's gotten graded yet. That being said, Trey Turner is one of those guys that I feel like is perennially undervalued, and some of that has to do with Juan Soto being on the same team. He takes a lot of the attention. And guys like Victor Robles also taking attention. Carter Kaiboom, even though he didn't do very well last year. But Juan Soto's a big personality, a big ego, and a huge card market guy. So the second tier guys on his team are going to kind of get left behind, which is why you're seeing a guy like Trey Turner, who's extremely, extremely good, go for $370 for one of his premier cards. Trey Turner, if you didn't know, had a 982 OPS last year, Aaron.
It's pretty good.
2.4 wins above replacement in 59 games, and he hit 335 with a 394 on base and a 588 slugging.
Hey, that sounds like a pretty big steal at 370.
It is. Now, hear me out. 12 home runs, and I'm going to do a video on this on Thursday, so this is why I have it in the top of my head. 12 home runs and 12 stolen bases on the year in 59 games. 59 games is about a little over a third of the season. And so if you multiply what he had then, 12 home runs and 12 stolen bases, and extrapolate it out, it comes out to 32 home runs and 32 stolen bases. And
Wow,
that
30-30.
is, yes, what I like to call a 30-30 season, which is huge, and I think is definitely possible. Now, it might not happen. He's 27 now. Usually, as the home runs go up, the stolen bases are going to come down as he's losing his legs a little bit. As you get older, you just get slower, just like defense gets worse and worse the older you get. But his power is moving up in the right direction. But I still think he's a 30-30 capable guy, and I wouldn't be shocked if, Zimmerman's back. A bunch of those guys are back for the Nationals this year. They're healthy, and he's a 30-30 guy with Juan Soto there, and they're a playoff team. Could be huge.
Yeah, nice. Kevin says Manny Machado of the Nats.
Yeah, you got Fernando Tatis in San Diego that takes all of the shine, and Manny Machado kind of gets forgotten about, even though he's a $300 million man, extremely good himself.
Crazy. All right, that was Nate's second card now. So we're both 2 cards in, but Nate spent like all of his budget.
I spent $880. Yep.
So you went for 2 bigger ones then. You
Yes.
went for 2 big ones, then spend the rest on some smaller stuff. I kind of spread it out around the board, but I do have 2 bigger ones. My next one is Topps Chrome, not Sapphire, but Topps Chrome regular refractor PSA 9 of Ansu Fati. And by no means am I like buy Ansu Fati over some other soccer players, maybe like Holland or Mbappe, if you have the money. But for $325 for a rare refractor, these were pretty hard hits out of Topps Chrome regular this past year, much rarer than the Sapphire. I really think that this card, and I know he's not playing right now, I know he's injured, but that's even more reason why I'd say to buy it right now at $325 as a PSA 9. It just seems like such a good deal, given that that's his first Topps Chrome card. It's really his first like American card release ever. So that even helps too. And I know it doesn't have the rookie logo like Sapphire, but Sapphire is too expensive compared to this. I couldn't fit into my budget. I'd rather have the Sapphire card personally, but I mean, $325 for a Fati refractor PSA 9 rookie seems awesome to me. And I know that, like I said, that people aren't as high on him as other young soccer players. And he's got to recover from the knee injuries, but he's super young. And it's really like this could either be worth like $50 or this could be worth like $2,000 type of play here. I'm normally not like a huge boomer bust guy in general, because normally if I do end up acquiring a card for my collection, it's like of a scarce card of a really great player that's just like not super expensive. So this one is way out of like my normal realm of collecting, but I do think that this would be good in like let me see if I can make some money type of portfolio or lose it too. Oh, what's up, Bazooka Tom? Kevin's throwing some shade. Nate, are you trying to lose this challenge?
Tell you what, I am taking huge risks, but one of the guys at the top pops off. You make up the money you lose on the other cards. So,
and then you break even because you're a bum.
Well, yeah, but it's fun.
I'm just kidding. All right, here we go.
Are you shocked, Aaron? Are you shocked to see Bryce Terang on the screen right now?
Nate, I would be shocked unless I didn't get the notification that said he hit a spring training home run today, which is probably the only reason why you put this in here.
Well, it is part of the reason, but also not the only reason. Now, Bryce Terang is one of those guys like Nick Madrigal.
Yeah, you've been hating on this guy.
What?
You've been hating on him from a card perspective.
I have, because he seemed like a valuable MLB player, but not a valuable prospect guy, right? And so the whole thing about these guys that have good walk rates, and decent hitting ability, but no power, is that you need power, right? You need to show power. Well, he still has great walk rates. He still makes pretty good contact, and he had no power before this. Well, reports out of summer camp in the Brewers minor league system, they didn't play last year, but they had in Appleton, was that he added weight and he added power, and he hit a tank today. A tank. He's good at defense. He's got decent wheels. He's got decent contact. He's got a great eye at the plate. Like a guy that could run up 400 on base percentages type of eye plate, right?
That's good.
And maybe that's a little bit high, but 380s is definitely doable. And now he's adding power, and if he can keep that up, I don't see why he can't be, a 20 home run guy. Maybe as soon as this year. Maybe that's a little bit much. Maybe a 15 home run guy this year in the minors, but potentially not out of the realm of possibility that he could hit 20. And you're going to see a guy that $30 for a refractor, 25 graded. I don't see why this couldn't hit $100 if he blows up.
$30 plus $25 for grade plus 1 year equals $40 card. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so we are 3 cards in each right now. What's up, Serious Collector? And also Sam throwing some shade at Nate is great to see.
Hey, down to 173. Was up to 180. Down to 173. No big deal.
Nate, I swear you fluctuate between that 10-pound range like every time I talk to you.
I do. Like I get healthy for a little bit.
In the chat right now, whose portfolio you rather have through 3 cards? Now, keep in mind, Nate has what, like $70, $80 left to spend, 100 or something, and I have 425. Yep. I think 425. Let's hear it, and then I hope by the time I hit next that you all have put in your votes so that we can see, because I don't know. Hopefully, we have some baseball fans in here. Otherwise, it might not be good for Nate.
That's okay. I'm taking my boomer bust prospects, and we'll save this, and we will rehash it at the end of the year and see who actually has made.
We should do that. That's a good idea. All right. For my last card, didn't cheat, but I took it from yesterday's Instagram post because I was like, holy cow, how is this so cheap? Zion Williamson, select silver rookie PSA 9. I'm grabbing that with my last $420. Kid looks like an absolute mega star. I feel like he's going to be easily top 2 to 3 most popular NBA players over the next 10 years or more. So to me, it is just a no-brainer to find the best Zion Williamson card that fit into the $420 budget, which in my opinion ends up being the select silver PSA 9. There's not much more to say in this card other than that I love select. I think that the silvers are really actually more short print than, obviously Prism silvers, which is a huge draw for me to the set. I like that he's playing like actually on the court versus the photo shoot dunk thing, and I'm a big fan of it. The select silver Zion Williamson PSA 9 for my last one. All right, here we go.
I would like to point this. One second. I love Trey Turner, but counting on him to get big hobby love seems like to be a long shot. That's fair. It is fair, but I'm just thinking if he gets that 30-30 plateau, home runs, stolen bases, I think it's hard for people to ignore.
Yeah, I mean, there's some guys that hit those milestones, like Ketel Marte. Remember when he did really well, like 2 years ago for the first time or something? I feel like people are just going bananas for his cards.
Yep.
And like, who wants to actually collect that guy? Unless you were a Diamondbacks fan at the time, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, my bad.
All right. Last card for Nate, or last group, I think, for Nate. What do you got?
So Randy Rosarina, to go along with my high upside, very low or high downside picks here, I went with Randy Rosarina, banking on his power actually being legitimate. We saw a ton of power in the playoffs. I don't know if he will keep it up. But banking on it, $26 for a foil seems like a really good deal. And then you grade it for 25, you get it back in a year. Hopefully he's done well this year, and you're looking at a $200 card, right? Which seemed like a pretty good gamble for my last 50.
Was that foil or gold foil?
That's foil.
Okay.
And you're just really banking on that power. And then I had like $14 left, so I messed around with it a little bit, added an extra $1 for kicks and giggles. Maybe I saved $1 on a different one, and I went just his base for 5x15. Maybe I buy him on checkoutmycards.com and wait for him to go up to $6-7, and I grab a cool $20 bill to go have Taco Bell with.
I was literally just gonna say, I already know you're going to Taco Bell with that flip money.
Well, you've seen my Robinhood account where I have like 40 shares of Joint Chiropractic for $2, sold them for like $3.80 to go buy Taco Bell, and now they're a $39 stock. Right?
Imagine thinking that you should take an investment out and go sink it into Taco Bell, which immediately becomes not only a loss of money, but also probably not a fun night on the toilet.
Oh, it doesn't affect me any.
That's right. I forgot because it's not real meat. Nate's stomach is the test for that one. All right. And now to recap it all. This was my $1,000 spend, a Messi Sapphire variation, which I would then grade. A Dwayne Wade refractor 2004 Topps Chrome PSA 8, Zion Silver PSA 9, rookie, and a Ansu Fati refractor from Topps Chrome PSA 9 for $325. And here is Nate's big buys. His Randy Arozarena base lot was not on the screen, but this is what we got.
Yeah, couldn't fit it. The Randy Arozarena graded for 50, the Topps foil. The Marco Luciano PSA 9 for Bowman Chrome Auto for $510. The Trey Turner Topps Chrome Sapphire for $370, and the Bryce Terang that is also graded in there, refractor $499 for $55. That comes out to like $986 or something like that, $985.
There we go.
Yeah.
Well, if y'all want to put down your $1,000 portfolio take, what cards you would buy, throw it into the chat, and we will highlight a couple throughout this episode. If you want to put your takes in there, and we'll see what you guys come up with. Bazooka Tom, I knew he's a baseball guy. He's loving your shortstop picks, Nate.
I mean, they're almost all shortstops. Here's the thing. Luciano's the guy that, like, if he blows up, that's an easy $1,000, $2,000 card.
It is.
Easy.
It is.
Trey Turner's a big risk. I'm expecting people to want to buy him. That might not happen. So that might be a waste of $370. But the same card at the start of in December sold for like $200, I think. So people are at least paying attention. Bryce Terang and Randy Arozarena are the real. I didn't have much money, so I'm taking high upside flyers. And there is real potential here with these two guys. If Bryce Terang's power or Randy Arozarena's power is real, those are big plays because they do a lot of other things correct.
Yeah, that is true. $1,000 on an NBA Top Shot. Kevin Knox airballing a jumper.
Did you watch Lamine James's NBA Top Shot?
I did.
Video of him opening a pack for $200.
Yeah.
Got all comments. Every comment he got was like number to 10,000 or more.
Sad. Also, I see someone who is that? Carlos said, "You guys going to touch on soccer?" Carlos, half my portfolio here was soccer. So yes, well, not half budget wise, but half card wise, 2 of the 4. And someone else said, who said that you guys should actually buy these and see what happens. See, the problem with not buying these before this video is that I don't think that I'll be able to find a Fati PSA 9 refractor again. And then also probably not one for $325. And I also don't think I'll be able to find a Wade PSA 8 refractor again. These were based off of like the most recent sales, which were generally within the last 2 weeks.
Also, I happen to be poor. So,
well,
if somebody wants to donate $1,000 to me for me to experiment with this, by all means, I would gladly accept.
What percent of the earnings do they get?
90%.
Oh,
I'll take that 10% finder's fee.
Ooh. All right. Well, all I know is that you'd have no competition getting a Bryce Terang auto, so you can definitely lock that one in. All right. Last week at Slapstocks Breaks, had a fun time on Tuesday. Actually pulled a huge Weston McKennie orange auto, number 25 out of Bundesliga Soccer. I think that's probably around a $500 card or so. USA Soccer player, plays for Juventus now, which is really cool to see. And then also opened a 2004 Topps Chrome box, and we did hit a gold refractor of Kevin Garnett. There's like a PSA 9 listed for $3K and a PSA 10 listed for $6K, numbered out of 99. Really beautiful centering on that card too. Looks really good. Also with a Kobe base and a Reggie Miller of 110. No LeBron, but still a great box with that gold refractor. Very difficult hit. And then tomorrow we have 4 breaks running starting at 3 p.m. Eastern time with Pokemon, going into Sapphire Soccer at 4 p.m. Eastern time. 4:15 is a big 2010 Panini World Cup box. There's some really, really big Messi and Ronaldo's in there. The premium edition foil card, like as crazy as a PSA 10. I mean, very hard to get a 10. And then PSA 9s are like over $1,000 each. And then also we're doing some Revolution 2017 and Hoops basketball. Then Thursday, join us for Bowman's Best Basketball live here on YouTube, right where you're watching this stream right now.
Hey, Bob Bobichette, Top Score Max Factor, $42 each. Got 7 PSA 10s.
Wow.
Thanks, Nate. You're the one that told me to submit them. You just watched my ego just.
Serious, you can't say that to Nate, man. I'm telling you, back when we used to do the prospecting stuff all the time. I remember when Nate called me one time. I was in Barcelona on a subway. He's like, dude, you see Nate Pearson do this? You see this guy do this? This guy do that? He's like, I'm just a beast at this. Like,
and then I got out of prospecting, and now I want to get back because I miss it so much.
Well, hey, we gotta make some more videos on it.
Yeah. Hey, quick couple things. Wander's too expensive for me right now. When you're getting up to $300+ for a Bowman Chrome PSA 10, I know he's the number one prospect in baseball. I love him. I expect big things, but that's terrifying. For somebody that just watched Vlad Guerrero Jr. come up as the number one prospect, can't miss guy in baseball with an 80 grade hit tool and 70 power. And he has been merely above average lately. So it's not like he can't fail, right?
Well,
he can fail. I
also,
still love him.
The problem is that you have to buy a base non-auto PSA 10 for like $400. That's the bigger problem when you could spend $500 and get an auto PSA 9 of Luciano.
Yes, that is the thank you. So yeah, that's the issue there. Wander's just too expensive for my taste. And also, this is a fair point. We had no quarterbacks.
I was just going to highlight that because I want to talk about it. But before that, everyone check out Limestone's cards on Instagram. He's going to talk about his $1,000 budget or portfolio tonight on Instagram. That's cool. Thanks for sharing that too. But Doug, let's talk about this. No quarterbacks or pitchers. Who would you add to this if you absolutely had to? Nate, we both get to pick one pitcher and one quarterback. And let's say that you have like a $500 additional budget on top of what we already did.
Okay.
You go if you have it. I'll think.
Well, I have a pitcher and a quarterback already in mind, but I feel like you're going to steal one of them. So I'm going to start with pitcher because I feel like you might steal that. I have 2 quarterbacks in mind, but we'll go with pitcher. And that is now I know I was on the Brewers bandwagon with Bryce Terang, but Corbin Burns, man, he was so good last year. And I expect him to be better this year because the Brewers had terrible defense at second, below average defense at second with Keston Hiura, below average defense in center field because Lorenzo Cain was out, and they had Avisal Garcia in center most of the year. And then they also had Braun and Yelich playing in the outfield corners. Now we get JBJ in one of those outfield corners, Cain back in center field, and Colton Wong, the best defensive second baseman in baseball, at second, to go along with Arcia and Urias at shortstop and third base, presumably. That is probably going to be with Omar Narvaez at catcher and Keston Hiura at first now, which should be a better position for him, and he could probably be an average first baseman. And Yelich in left, JBJ in right. That should be like the best defense in baseball, probably. There's not going to be many balls through the infield. There's not going to be a ton of balls that land in the outfield. And that is only going to help a guy like a Corbin Burns that was dominant, had filthy stuff, tons of strikeouts, limited home runs. And now you add in like one of the best defenses in the league. That is a recipe for a Cy Young.
Wow. My Corbin Burns collection over to the left there is feeling pretty good after Nate just talked him up like that. Still got all them Bowman Chrome Orange autos of him.
I'm so jealous.
I know.
You should gift one to me for kicks and giggles.
Oh, I mean, why not, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll take a picture here, and by no means am I as smart as Nate in the slightest. I don't know really much about current baseball at all, so Nate's going to beat me in describing why. But just thinking, I don't know how much his prices are. I feel like I could get a pretty nice graded Jacob deGrom Topps flagship rookie numbered in the $400, $250 to $400 range. I don't know if I'm exactly right in that, but I feel like I could. But sometimes what I feel isn't always correct, so I don't know for sure. But I'm going to take some type of Jacob deGrom card that ranges between 250 and 400, but I'm probably going to keep it closer to 250 because I want that extra 250
just
for quarterbacks.
In case you're wondering, his non-numbered base 470
For a 10?
for a 10.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So do you want a base of him?
Dude, I had like 30 base of those 2 years ago. I bought for $2 a piece. I think I graded a bunch of them.
Ooh, you should have kept them.
410 for a base PSA 10 of a pitcher now?
470.
So you're telling me that it was actually a good idea to buy pitchers when everyone was telling us we were stupid?
Yeah, so, if you're hitting your Casey Mizes and stuff in this new product, hold on to them. Now, of course, this is 470 for the best pitcher in baseball, who's won multiple Cy Youngs and has been amazing for years. There's sustained excellence here, which is hard for a lot of guys. So, if you have your pitchers, just hold on and see what happens.
So you're telling me I couldn't get like a gold out of 2014 PSA 9 for $400?
Oh, well, I don't know about that. Oh. 1 second.
Well, I'm a big fan of the gold PSA 9s over like a base PSA 10 all day. Love those serial numbered.
You can get a gold PSA 9 for $300.
Okay, so I'm taking that. I'm taking DeGrom PSA 9 gold for my pitcher, and then for my quarterback. I'm a little stuck here because I want a couple different ones, and I might be taking Nate's, but I feel as if buying Kyler Murray now to sell it before the season seems like a great idea.
You dog.
Is that who you're going to pick?
I was going to take Kyler.
Too bad.
Yeah.
You can take him too. I don't care.
Hey, here's the thing about Bieber, just for everyone, is obviously Shane Bieber was amazing. But he blew up last year, and he only faced the NL and AL Centrals. The NL Central is very bad. The AL Central has multiple teams that are bad. You have the Twins, and you have the White Sox to an extent, but the Tigers are not good. The Royals are not good. And the NL Central, all those offenses were pretty bad. And you watched, as we got to the playoffs, what happened to every AL and NL Central team in the playoffs? They lost in the first round, right? We weren't good teams. And so Shane Bieber, I hate to say, you want a Cy Young, now you got to go prove it, but he's kind of got to go prove it again because his competition was so poor. He did not face, a Yankees team, right? He didn't face the Rays. He didn't face an NL West team like the Dodgers. So, love Shane Bieber, but he's still got to prove it to me.
Oops, not that one. And Maldo, hey, we appreciate you too. Thanks for watching tonight. And thank you, everyone, for being here, too. If you have not already, please hit that like button. It looks like we're at 98 viewers, it says on here. Maybe we can get to 100. So hit that like button to help us out. Yeah, T206, you know it. Serial number is the way to go. I talk about it all the time. And it's kind of funny because I say that, yet not one of my cards in my $1,000 budget was serial numbered, mostly because they were too expensive. I liked all the players I picked, but a serial number of any of those guys would have definitely thrown off the budget for sure. Which you kind of have to weigh, if you are on a budget, you have to weigh, do I buy a not as great player, but a rarer card of him, a serial number card, or do I buy the better player with a, maybe a base or a refractor and grade it? So those are the decisions you got to make. Oh, Hollywood Nate, when did you get that nickname?
I like it. What's
up, Michael Brown? How's it going?
I'm not beautiful enough to make it in Hollywood, though. That's for sure.
Egg
Tall
cards
enough, though.
I can go buy an egg at the store. That's why. Can't buy a DeGrom autograph at a store.
Hey, for my quarterback.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're not done yet. Then we'll get on to the question.
Just to finish it off. I was going to go Dak because the offensive line is great there. The wide receivers are great. The running back is great. Dak's great. They have to pay him, obviously. He has to come in and perform after a year off of injuries and stuff. That being said, I really don't believe in Mike McCarthy. That dude's a horrible coach. You should have won a lot more games with Andy Dalton with all those weapons you had, and they didn't. So Mike McCarthy might take Dak Prescott from a good quarterback to a mediocre quarterback really quick. So instead, I think I'll probably go with like Jalen Hurts or something. And Jeffrey Laura just said today that they plan on building around him. They don't want to bring in a quarterback for competition. So he has ownership's, whatever word I'm looking for. He has ownership behind him, right? And he doesn't have much in the way of talent around him, but I will take a little gamble on him. He's not nearly as expensive as some of those other guys from 2020. So take a gamble and see what happens.
Yeah, I thought that Jalen Hurts seems like the type of guy that isn't going to put up the crazy completion percentages and stuff, but I feel like that he could win you games and can like make plays and everything like that, which honestly is sometimes just as important as in the NFL. You know, it's interesting though because you find a guy that doesn't make plays and wins games, and then you have Jimmy Garoppolo,
Yeah.
and then you find a guy that makes plays and doesn't win games, and you have Deshaun Watson. And then you need like the perfect marriage between the two to really make them be like a long lasting thing. Or you just have the dude that does it all and then they're the best.
So. Or you just sell before the season when he's named the starter and everyone's pumped about it, and you sell before he can play a single game.
Yeah.
So you don't take on any of the risk and you still take your 20-25%.
I do really like that play a lot of the time. If you had a Topps Chrome LeBron rookie PSA 10, would you sell or hold right now? And I think that my answer is going to be the same every single time that this is asked, ever. Because of the fact that this is one of the most iconic cards of all time now that people are going to want for a long time. And the pop report isn't like crazy high on it. It's like 2,000, but that's pretty low considering the amount that were graded to. And it's a pretty hard card to grade and get a 10 because the centering is pretty bad on a lot of them. It's sell if you have a lot of profit and you know exactly what you want to spend the money on, or you really need the money, or you hold it because it's one of the best cards of all time. And I'm not sure if there's any other answer because unless something seriously bad happened to LeBron, I don't think that like losing another finals would be a seriously bad thing happening to LeBron. I'm thinking like something like bad in the news, which I don't think is going to happen either. I don't see any way that his like long-term demand isn't huge. So if you don't need to sell it, don't sell it. I mean, there's a ton of people holding on these cards, which is why they're $30,000 because they don't want to sell it either and don't need to sell it. So every single person that does that is one more off the market. So if you put one back into the market, it's gonna be just as hard to get one off the market, probably.
How much was this? How much was this when you bought your refractor?
How much was it when I bought my refractor?
Yeah.
Because
you had a refractor PSA 9, right?
Yeah, I had a 9.5. I think that the PSA 10 was around like 7-8K. And I went 16 on the refractor 9.5 and then sold it for 42. But which I mean, obviously now it's worth way more, but I had a plan in mind with it, so I'm not mad about it. No. So, all right, you guys finally convinced me to invest in soccer. I have a few $1,000s to spend. Hey, you guys, more like Aaron.
I'll take credit for that.
Aaron plus Zach. That's what he's trying to say. Not Aaron plus Nate. Zach's our soccer guy, Premier League investing. Premier Soccer Investing. I always mess it up. He's not here today, it doesn't seem, but he's always normally in the chat. You guys finally convinced me to invest in soccer. I have a few $1,000s to spend. Can you give me an idea of how you'd think about spending it? I already know about the big sets. The question is less about that and more along the lines of should I invest in a basket of PSA 10 base cards for players like Mbappe, Haaland, Pulisic, or buy as much raw as possible with that money, hoping some of them will gem, or spend it all in a couple PSA 10 short prints? Thanks. So I think that the problem is if you're trying to buy a large amount of non-graded cards of those players right now, you're going to find that a lot of them have already been scooped up and sent to get graded. And I think that your odds of hitting 10s are going to be quite low on them because I think that we had the initial run of people buying and grading soccer like myself, which one is really cheap. Then you had the next run that is like a little bit more expensive. And then you had the most recent run. If cards survive those three runs to get 10s, I'd be pretty shocked. Like it's like probably like a 1 in 25 or higher chance that one might have survived to get a 10. Now you might get lucky and find the right seller who doesn't grade cards and just pulled it out of the box to sell it. Like that could happen, but the odds are pretty low. And I don't think that that's a good idea to buy him to try to grade to get the PSA 10. Now you might weigh some risk reward and be like, oh, I could get a 9 and it still might be okay or whatever. But I think that my thought process here is if you are in the position where you can buy and hold for the next year to year and a half, I would buy a couple short print PSA 10s, meaning serial numbered 10s, maybe even a 9.5 if it's a card that you can't get in a 10 because it's so rare. That does happen, by the way. Like you'll hear me always say, okay, PSA 10 over 9.5, but that wouldn't stop me from buying a 9.5 if there's a, such a rare serial number card that you can't get in a 10. Like I would not ignore a card that you really think is a great investment if it's just not in the exact PSA 10 grade you want, because you would miss on a lot of stuff in the industry if you did do that, especially when it comes to serial numbered and short printed cards.
Sure enough, Cowboys and Dak Prescott have a deal.
Seriously?
Just as we were talking about it, he just signed a long-term deal.
How much per year?
Maybe with that deal, I don't know. Steven put it in the corner, so I went and checked Twitter. Sure enough. Now, maybe that deal came with Mike McCarthy getting fired. If that's the case, then I would buy Dak. I would switch my pick. But since that's unlikely, I still don't know if I'd buy Dak.
Okay, well, back to this question. If you were in the position to hold for a year and a half, I'd definitely buy the short print PSA 10s, 9.5s, whichever grade you need to get to afford it. And then just hold them. I mean, I don't think you can go wrong in buying some of those popular soccer players in the world and holding them for World Cup or even just the hype around all of soccer by that point. And Bobby Wood Jr. hit a 484-foot home run.
I just saw a video of it. It was big.
Was it? It was big. Okay.
He's 20 years old.
That's crazy. That's like Zion throwing down like a 360 windmill or something, I feel, at 20. Well, I guess there's actually a ton of athletes that are 20 that could do that, but to each their own. All right. Kevin says that Pulisic is dirt cheap right now, all things considered. Yeah, definitely. I feel like some stuff has to do with that. I don't track it like super close, but I hear he's not getting a lot of playing time in the Premier League, which he signed the biggest American contract ever for a Premier League transfer. So hopefully he starts to play. But at the same time, it's like he comes here and plays in the national team and the World Cup and does well. And no one will care about how much he played 2 years ago or a year and a half ago at Chelsea. All right. Last one of the day. Nate, take it home.
Love it. Which player in 2021 Top Series 1 or 2 will break out of seemingly nowhere or exceed expectations, i.e. Randy Rosarina last year? And which prospect do you believe will hold more long-term value, Jared Klenick or Julio Rodriguez? So let's take the first one. Obviously, you can't have a breakout if there's already sky-high expectations. So that counts out your Joey Barts, that counts out your Paches, your Adells, your Carlsons, everyone like that. So you have to go a tier lower. And if you take a Randy Rosarina example, that's a guy that always had a good eye at the plate and solid contact ability, decent speed, decent defense. And now you add power to that and he pops, right? So you kind of need to find a guy along those lines. Not necessarily very easy because not all athletes are made the same. Take Isaac Paredes. Now, I don't really know how to say his last name. I'm going to say Paredes, but I don't know.
I was going to say Paredes is what I
don't know if that's how it's pronounced. And somebody can correct me in the chat, I'm sure. But he's a like 60 hit tool type of guy with like a 40, 45 power. But he's not the athlete Randy Rosarina is. He's like 5'10", 220 pounds. He's a big boy. He's not fast. So he's not an athlete. And not being an athlete means your bat speed's not going to be as fast, right? So while he has a good hit tool, if he was a little bit skinnier, maybe a little bit better athlete, I would believe in that power coming on more. But that's the type of guy I'd be looking at. I'm not necessarily looking at Isaac Paredes specifically, but you want to find a guy with a good hit tool that you think can get to power. He's not a perfect example because obviously, like I said, Randy Rosarina, a good athlete. Isaac Paredes, not as much. And then for the next one, Jared Kelenic or Julio Rodriguez. Again, I'm going to point it out, Kelenic, because I always used to say Kelenic or Kelenic because I said Kelenic, and then somebody corrected me to Kelenic, and it turns out the E is silent in the middle. It's just Kelenic. But, yeah. Which prospect do you believe would hold long-term value? Kelenic is from Wisconsin. We love him, but I just have a hard time voting against Julio Rodriguez in anything. I love the guy, and I think he's going to be an absolute I think both of them are going to be superstars, but I really, really love Julio Rodriguez, so I'm going with J-Rod.
Man, I really hope that him and Kelenic work out because Mariners fans have had it hard for a while, other than, Ichiro like being good and Felix Hernandez.
And a random like Kyle Lewis popping up.
Yeah, but other than those two guys, there's like not much out there. So really hope that their outfield's loaded with those dudes smacking home runs and playing well.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Nate, thanks for wrapping that up there. And I think with that being said, we are at the end of our live stream, and we'll wrap it up for today. A little shorter, but there weren't as many questions, and we did hit on that $1,000 card portfolio. So if you join late, you guys can rewind it to the beginning to watch our $1,000 purchases between Nate and myself. Was pretty cool. All right, what is this?
Pulled a Luka Top Shot last night, and honestly don't believe in it long term. Do you guys think it's worth trading for Mbappe Prism rookie or Devin Booker?
Yes, I would take the Devin Booker in about 5 seconds.
Now, here's one thing. A lot of people spend a lot of time on their computers, and it's like artwork. Would you spend $100,000 on a piece of art that nobody sees if you never leave your house and you work from home and nobody's ever over? Probably not. Can you show it off online and brag about it and stuff for like a top shot? Now you can't. I don't know how they show off NFTs and stuff, but I at least understand the reasoning behind people spending a ton of money on it, because it's kind of like that's where all their social life is right now, is online, so they can kind of like give some bragging power as opposed to buying like a $50,000 Ming vase or something and not being able to show anybody. Yeah. That being said, it's still ridiculously stupid to me. I like to have something tangible in my hand, right? And so,
well, if it were me, I don't know how much some of that stuff costs them, but I know that some stuff is like $8,000 to $10,000. I'd take the $8,000 to $10,000 and buy a first edition Spider-Man comic book in any grade so fast. That's about how much they are in like really low grade. I just love having something historical in my hands. Like,
I would take that $8,000 to $10,000 and put a down payment on something. Get some property. Get a better car. I don't know.
That's you though.
Actually, that car is a poor choice because that's going to depreciate in value very quickly.
I mean, you're like, property is better than the car.
Yeah, but you get my point.
Yeah,
buy something worthwhile. Don't buy a stinking video. And along those lines, buying base cards, probably not the best choice either.
He asked it too, which is why I said Devin Booker. But yeah, I would find something other than that. Now, I do like Devin Booker and Mbappe aren't the worst because their pops are 1,000 on Booker and 2,500 on Mbappe, maybe, which Mbappe is probably going to go up to 3,000 or so by the time that we hit the end of the summer, maybe, or end of the year. But like Nate said, like you're getting in the realm of the 2018 Prism Basketball, 2019 Prism Basketball, 2020 Prism Basketball base cards. Like we're talking like almost 20,000 Luka 10s, going to be 20,000 Zion 10s. Like that is a lot. That is a lot.
Yep.
But I mean, everyone kind of likes their own thing though, right? Like people could tell me that cards are stupid all my life if they really wanted to. I'm sure
they did. Did they not?
Exactly. Yeah. So I wasn't really that upfront about it until I got into college. And I can't, for me, myself, it's like, to me, it doesn't work for me, but I have to at least understand why it could work for someone else. Now, if the person's telling me that I don't care at all about it, but there's just someone else that wants to buy it because it might make them money and then it loses people money in the end, now that's a little bit of a different story. But if you do actually like it, like, by all means.
And I don't know how many people like a Top Shot thing. I don't know how many people like those stupid NFTs where it's like one digital created art that you have and nobody else has. And maybe I think in the future when we should create this, us as a community should create little picture frames like you had back in the day that had the digital picture frames, but label them NFT frames.
Someone already did that.
It's a TV you put on your wall, and then it's just a stupid picture.
Someone already did that.
Oh, okay.
I literally saw like a day ago, someone reposted like, this is big for the NFT game. It was like a frame that holds a video that you then can like hang. And I'll play the video.
Plug in, or is it battery powered?
I think it's battery powered potentially. No. It didn't look like it had like.
No matter what, I find the whole thing to be ridiculous. But I'm not like it's not for me. But I understand why people do it.
Yeah,
and I understand why people are drawn to Top Shot. I do think a lot of people are probably drawn to Top Shot because they're just looking to get money and flip money. And to
me, one of the most telling signs of Top Shot was seeing the people that came into cards in the last 6 to 8 months because of something like money. To see people go to Top Shot in the last month because of something like money, just kind of telling on. And that's not me saying that cards is like, oh, Top Shot's getting all the heat, cards are going down. Like, it's definitely not what's happening. If you guys saw the golden auctions thing, you would obviously understand it's not what's happening. But you do see the people that kind of flock to these things. What brings the most short-term money? and then they leave it, and then they might come back, and then they go to the next thing, and then the next thing, and then there's another thing that we don't even know about right now that they go to next. You know, like
people that couldn't care less about a 25-cent Brandon Rush card, right?
Yeah.
You know, well, brings me a little bit of joy, would bring them nothing.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, cool. Good little discussion there to end it off. And thank you everyone for joining. We will be back next Monday for the same exact thing at 6 p.m. Eastern time on Monday. I did see he might be gone by now, but Alonzo said first time here is interesting stuff. Thank you. Yeah, of course. I had a fun time, and we always appreciate every new person that joins too. And then also tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern time, break start, and then run through probably around I don't know. I remember the schedule. 6 p.m. Eastern time or so. 6:37 p.m. Eastern time will be live. So yeah, check it out then. And Thursday's NBA Showcase, and this Friday I'll be in Dallas. Friday and Saturday for the Dallas Card Show. So if you're there, please come and say hi, and we'll chat up about sports cards.
Good luck getting COVID.
I'll be fine. I was in Miami with way too many people. I say I'll be fine.
Though. Got my shot today.
Yeah, no big deal. Kids 20. Well, you guys might find it's hard to believe. Kid's 26 years old and he gets a COVID shot.
I've tricked him into thinking I was 65.
Yeah.
No, it's one of those. In case anybody accuses me of anything, it's one of those situations where they had one dose left and nobody to give it to, and the person that was giving it knew that I was around working from home and I could come and get it, so they didn't waste it.
Look at that, Nate, saving the last COVID vaccine. Selfishly saving it for himself. Just kidding. Aaron, when you breaking that 2006 World Cup box behind you? What box? Right there. We will be doing that very soon, so stay tuned for that. If you are into soccer, that'll be the biggest soccer box we've opened yet. And then, have you received a Panini White Box 1-of-1? This is the last question, but I actually have, because I had a Landry Shamet Optic Gold on-card auto, numbered out of 10, outstanding for a redemption at the 2019 National in Chicago. Bought it for like $70. Optic Gold on-card auto. Of course, like that sounds like nothing right now, but back then it was like, what are you doing buying redemption for that much? But I ended up trading it in for the white box, and
Christian McCaffrey.
You remember that?
Yeah.
Dude, I could have traded it for I cannot believe you remember that. I could have traded it for a Dak Prescott black box 1-of-1 RPA. So not the actual immaculate RPA, but could have traded for that. Instead, I took the box. Yeah, Juju Smith-Schuster auto and a Christian McCaffrey patch from Flawless. I think I sold them both on the scene for $100, but not the worst thing. I mean, more than I paid for the Landry Shamet. So
perfect.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you back here next Monday, 6 p.m. Eastern time, tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern time on the breaks. And we thank you for watching. See you all next time.